What's going on, Colts Nation, Colts Loyalists? What's going on? Those of you who are here, I appreciate you being here. Now, I get it. This is not a Colts-centric stream, okay? I understand that. This is more of an NFL-centric stream. As you guys know, I cover the NFL. And today, some news. I mean, it just keeps piling on. NFL news, especially DBs this week. What's up with the DBs all of a sudden throughout the NFL? We're going to discuss a few people, specific DBs that are holding out wanting new contracts. And we'll be doing that right after this.
All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm back. And yes, I can cough over that, amazingly enough. My bad. So, I tried to get TD Finn's talk on here to discuss it with me, but it was last minute, and I understand why he didn't show up. But I appreciate each and every one of you that may show up today to watch this. Man, we got yesterday Stephon Gilmore, the Patriots, cornerback, who was just Defensive Player of the Year, just what, a year or two ago? My goodness. He's wanting a new contract. Xavien Howard, who literally just signed a contract extension 2 years ago, also wanting another one. What? So I'm going to get into this. Now, obviously, there's also the news of Jamal Adams not showing up for camp, but I don't think that has anything to do with contract, from what I'm understanding. Yes, he is on his final year of his rookie deal, and yes, he is in the whole contract negotiations for an extension. But there's been no, nothing going out there talking about, well, he's not showing up to camp because of wanting money or anything like that, or, he's holding out. I'm understanding that's more of a personal family issue than anything. And I expect that the Seahawks will most likely get that extension done. I mean, he's all coming off his rookie deal. I'm sure he's going to get paid. But let's get started right off with Stephon Gilmore from the New England Patriots. There's been a lot of rumors rolling around with him. All right, first off, there was rumors, well, J.C. Jackson's, is J.C. Jackson their number one corner now? What? Stephon had a down year last year. What? What do you consider a down year? A year in which Gilmore doesn't get Defensive Player of the Year, because the man still played pretty darn good football last year. Okay? And he also sat there. Stephon Gilmore sat there during the offseason and watched his coach/GM drop money after money after money on different people, right, through this offseason, getting wide receivers, tight ends, defensive linemen, pass rushers, but never getting his extension. And now there's rumors, oh, will Gilmore get traded for maybe a second-round pick? Really? I mean, Gilmore, let's be fair and honest here. Gilmore's on the final end of his contract, right? The last part of his 5-year extension he got back in 2017. And he got paid some good money. Some very good money. Back in 2017, he got $13 million a year. That was his average for that 5-year extension. A $13 million a year average. Back in that day, it was really, really good money. So I can't really be too upset, because the man's 30 years old. He's still, 2 years removed being Defensive Player of the Year. He's 30. He's still got a few years, left in the tank, I assume. And he's played his butt off. This year, he's only getting $7 million. Now, nowhere did I hear, well, I need more money this year. Because he's made the majority of his money through previous years of the contract. He wants security. He wants an extension. And I don't blame the guy. Okay? He doesn't want to have to go through another, an off-season. Yes, it can be fun. But come on. At his age, how much money is he really going to make out there on the open market next year? He could sit out and lose, about $8 million because he's got about, a $735,000 roster bonus and a $7 million base salary. Got a big cap hit of $16.25 mil because of obvious, his original signing bonuses and stuff of that nature. Big cap hit. But only $8.5 million of dead cap if he's let go or traded. So the Patriots might be looking to trade him. Who knows? Because let's face it, Bill Belichick's not a guy that's known for dishing out those big contracts, those second big contracts. He already dished out a pretty lump sum to him once for 5 years. Now he's getting a little bit older. Generally, Bill Belichick lets these kind of players in this situation go at the end of a year. And Gilmore ain't stupid. He knows it. He's been watching this whole time. He knows exactly what's going on. I'm kind of on Gilmore's side in this situation. He wants a little bit of security, long-term security. I bet you give him a 3-year extension on top of this deal, I think he'll be fine. I think he would have no issues. And I'm not thinking that he wants $20 million a year, even though I think he's still a top 5 corner in the NFL. I don't think he wants $20 mil. Now, I can't say for sure. I'm not, discussing it with his agent. If you have his phone number, his agent's phone number, or his phone number, you want to pass it on to me, I will be sure to contact him, leave him a message, and say, yo, what up? How much do you want a year? How much can the Patriots... Now, what happens if the Patriots don't sign him on an extension? Will he sit out? I don't see why he wouldn't. If he's sitting out camp, he may sit out the season. Like I said, he's only losing, $7.5 million? He could sit out, make his point known. Or... because he is upset. And I get it, and I understand why. How much would it cost to trade for him? I'd say you could probably get Gilmore for a late second, early third. Yeah, I believe you could probably do that. So there's teams out there that could legitimately trade for him. And I think that Belichick may do that. A lot of people want to trade Gilmore for another player, like fans is what I'm saying. A lot of people, like Patriots fans, trade him out to go get somebody else. They wanted to use him for some people wanted to use him as a trade in for Julio Jones. Not a lot of money there, and it's only an $8.5 million dead cap. You're only going to be paying a couple $100,000 more off dead cap than you would just having him on your roster. Or you could sign him to that extension he wants. And it's probably the better end of the deal. At least that's how I feel about it. Would I want him on the Colts? Let's say the Colts are sitting here. We know we're in question with our secondary. We know we got 2 guys, Kenny Moore, Xavier Rhodes. That third spot's open. Question's been pulled up. Would he be good on the Colts? Well, let's see here. He's got plenty of playoff experience, plenty of Super Bowl experience, MVP experience, and he's 30. I think he plays very, very well, but he is more of a man cornerback, whereas the Colts play a zone-heavy scheme more than 50% of the time. I would say that I don't think Gilmore specifically fits the scheme as well as other cornerbacks in the NFL do. But, and he's also a guy who not only plays man, but he follows his man, right? He's the kind of cornerback that you say, stick on Julio Jones the entire night. And he'll do that. And he'll follow him around. But that plays havoc with zone scheme. You can't have one guy following guys around and the other guy's playing zone. That's kind of a difficult way of playing defense. I don't think Gilmore is a good scheme fit for the Indianapolis Colts. If he was a good zone coverage guy, which he could still play zone, and he'd be willing to be a zone coverage guy, yeah, I'd be all for signing him up. Sign me up, buddy. I'd give him a 2-3 year contract because I think he'd be worth it. How much? At his age, I don't think that he's worth, $15 to $20 million a year. I would say somewhere in the range between 12 and 13 million a year. He is coming off that big MVP season, but again, like I said, he's getting older. And he's getting to that point where you're going to start seeing decline in his performance due to his speed and agility. So that is an issue that the Colts have to be wary of. And we already know that the Colts, Chris Ballard and Frank Reich, they're trying to get younger. On defense. There's a reason why Danico Autry and Justin Houston are not on the team right now. Because they're trying to get younger. Yes, they re-signed Xavier Rhodes. But that's because he was the best playing corner on the Colts last year. If you want to go by quarterback passer rating against. So, of course, they brought him back. And he was brought back cheaper than what Gilmore would cost. But I'd still sign him if he'd be willing to. But we don't have a second-round pick to trade for him. And do you honestly believe that the Colts will drop a third? Do you think the Patriots would would take a third-round pick for Stephon Gilmore? Because that would mean that the Colts will only have a second and then a fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh in 2022's draft. Ballard really likes those second-round and third-round picks. And it would really tear him up. I don't think that that's a situation where the Colts, Chris Ballard, would do something like that. Now, moving on, I want to get to Xavien Howard because this dude ticks me off. All right? There's a reason. Loyalist didn't want to join this stream. I offered it. I said, hey, you want to join this stream? He says, no, I got some pretty bad feelings about this. Well, guess what, my guy? I do too. All right? He just signed this extension in 2019. Off his fifth-year option. 2 years ago, signed a big old extension through 2024. Averaging $15 million a year. Now, signing bonus wasn't that much. It's not superbly guaranteed money. He only had a $7 million signing bonus to this 5-year extension. Now, when I say it's a 5-year extension, it was tacked on to his 5th-year option, right? They 5th-year optioned him for 2019 and then dropped that extension 2020 through 2024. There you go. So he didn't make that much money between 2019 and 2020. Between those 2 years, he didn't make that much at all. It was like $23 million in between 2 years, which is less than $13 million a year at the level he was playing. Top dog money right now, we're looking at $20 million bucks. Jalen Ramsey. Big time money. Xavien Howard agreed to this 5-year extension, $15 million a year. But he wants more guaranteed money. You just signed this contract. Not cool, dude. Not cool. Now, I get it because he did this extension, and then last year, the year after he gets this extension done, They go sign Byron Jones for $16 million a year, which is $1 million more than what he's getting, and he's a home-brewed guy. So I get that he wants more money. But dude, $15 million a year. That's not cool. Now he's a guy that the Dolphins could trade. And let me tell you, the Dolphins are not afraid of trading someone who's showing any kind of issues about not wanting to be there. And they got a haul for Minkah Fitzpatrick. They would get a haul for Xavien Howard. Okay? And they could do it at the end of this year. Let's say Xavien Howard's like, you know what, I'm going to sit out the entire year. Fine. He could sit out the entire... He's got an out in his contract. At the end of this year, he could be traded and only have a $2.8 million dead cap on the Dolphins. And I'll guarantee he would get more than a first round. He would get at least a first round pick because he's still one of the top dogs in the NFL. And I would not put it past Flores doing that. If Xavien Howard decides to sit out an entire year, you know, to make a point that he deserves more guaranteed money. No, dude, you signed a contract. You agreed to it. And it's not like you're not making a good amount of money. I mean, you're making fair money. You're a top 5 paid corner in the NFL. Don't do that. Especially in a year that is cap hit because of the COVID season last year. And he's coming out doing this. Think about that. This shows you he's not a team guy. He's a money first, me guy. And I wouldn't want a guy like that. That in and of itself would mean I wouldn't want him on the Colts. Because you got cap-strapped teams because of COVID on this year. And he's making a chunk of money on that team. And yet wants more guaranteed. To me, that's just not cool. Guys, I'm going to get into the chat now because I see a bunch of you guys in here. Thanks a lot, by the way, for joining. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, please, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell so that you're notified next time I go live. Also, if you want to drop anything like a super chat, there's a link in the video right below this video right here. It says super chat. Please use that instead of the YouTube super chat. You'll be doing me a huge favor in doing so. And in that chat also, there's Patreon, right? I have Patreon here. Oh, look, there it is. There's my list of patrons. Thank you to each and every one of you. I got 10 of them. You get everything. It's only $5 a month. So you can go join my Patreon. The link is in the description of the video. Once I hit 15, so only 5 more, I'll start doing live streams and all y'all can join me and we can discuss whatever you want to discuss. And don't forget, you also have my link for my merch shop. Make sure to check out the Colts Law merch shop. The link is in the description of this video. There are a ton of high quality, reasonably priced items there that you can choose from. And all you got to do is just click one button and you can go and check out all these great merchandise items. I have a few more items in my merch shop. Just came up today, so I added some more. I'll get shout outs to these guys out here in the chat. By the way, if you're watching this and you got any kind of thoughts on either Stephon Gilmore or Xavien Howard, drop it in the chat. I will see if I can't get to you. Those of you do use the super chat, especially the one directly below that link right there, I will definitely hit you as soon as it pops up. Joseph Schmidt, what's up from Louisiana? Appreciate you being here, man. He needs to act before New England does. Loyalist says they're well known for dealing players a year earlier. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Martin Hazel, what's going on? Teddy Belcher, what's up? Xavier is Xavier. Xavier is the savior. Okay. JDW, what's going on? Appreciate you being in here. Thank you so much. Schmidt says that he is aging. He is. But look, Stephon is getting there. He's 30. But, I mean, Rhodes is at that mark too. He still played very, very. He even had comeback, had one of the best comeback performances of last year. Really. Hazel said Ballard meets with coaches about who keep draft or free agency. Eberflus must be happy with our corners. He probably is. I mean, you got to figure. Rhodes, I think, is a guy that we're 100% happy with. Kenny Moore, 100% happy with. And we got 3 guys vying for that other outside cornerback. So, I don't think the Colts will go after either one of them. That's just my opinion. Stephon says, JDW says, would you trade Kimoko Ture for Stephon Gilmore? And Schmidt immediately just drops out, no. The reason I would agree with Schmidt, not only potential, but youth. Okay? There's not a lot that I would trade for Gilmore with when it comes to player-wise, unless it is someone of similar value. And I don't think Kimoko is of similar value. I think he has high-end potential. I like what I saw from him during OTAs. Banagoo I would, because I don't like Banagoo, but then, Martin Hazel dropped that question in there as well. I'm not a big I don't have a lot of faith in Ben Banagoo. Okay? I know some people do. I'm not one of them. Anthony Hurt. Can any more off-season moves take place before the season starts? Oh, yes. Yeah. Trades and stuff can happen. I mean, that's what the whole June 1st deadline is, right? To help with dead cap space for certain teams. Because that kind of starts and stops with contracts and stuff. What's going on, Nano505? Appreciate you being in here. Schmidt says, if he doesn't have an Achilles injury, I don't want him. That's pretty funny. Colts, the Achilles injuries, people. Angry homie, what's up? Appreciate you being in here. Thanks, man. Time to trade X. I hope we trade him. I think so, too. I mean, look, dude, like I said, I think he's just getting greedy. Just like what you're saying here. He's got to go. He's getting too greedy and being a diva. And you're right. And you don't want that in your locker room. You don't want that kind of stuff spreading throughout your locker room. Minka was the same freaking way. He wanted out. Flores was like, fine, later. I can see the same thing happen. Maybe not right now, though. Okay? Because think about this. If he trades Xavien Howard right now, this year, you're taking a $16.2 million dead cap. That's going to hurt big time. But if you let him sit and not play, not only are you hurting Xavien Howard because, he's not getting paid, because Howard's the one doing that to himself, but then you release him the year after, it's only a $2.8 million dead cap. Let the guy sit down, wait till next offseason, then trade his butt for a draft pick, a number 1 draft pick. It's not like it's really going to hurt you too much anyhow. Think about it. I mean, whether he's playing or not, you ain't getting a draft pick until next year's draft pick. So it doesn't matter if you're trading him right now or if you trade him in March. It's still going to be a 2022 draft pick. So don't take the big dead cap spot. As a matter of fact, it won't even be a dead cap because you don't have to pay him. That base salary of his won't be there because you won't have to pay him every game that he doesn't play. You won't the Dolphins won't have to pay him. That'll be money that'll roll over till next year on next year's salary cap. It's better to let him, the way I see it, let the angry kid cry themselves to sleep while they're having their conniption fit. That's how I see it. What's going on, Rams? Appreciate you being in here. Whoa, I see. Brian, what up, Nomadic Brian? Thanks, man. So long as the Titans can't afford him. Amen to that. I honestly don't think Xavien Howard would be traded this year. I really do believe that Flores is a shrewd guy. I think he'd sit on Xavien Howard, make him sit down. If he doesn't play, he don't get paid. You saves the Dolphins money, and you'll get a draft pick from him next year. That's the way I see it. Rams says Gilmore to Rams or Colts. I don't think Gilmore goes to the Colts. Like I said, because Colts don't have a second round pick or that they can trade. Because we don't know if it's a first or second round pick that's going for Carson Wentz until the season's played. The most that they could offer is a third round pick. And I don't see Ballard giving away a third and I'm hoping a first. Now, if he does, I'd be all good for it. If the Patriots will take a third round pick for Stephon Gilmore, I'd do it. I don't think they will. Because it'd be a late third. Because I expect the Colts to make the playoffs. If not, at least win the division. But the Rams, I mean, come on, guy. You already got some pretty good corners over there. Do you really need Gilmore? And do you have the cap space for him? Gilmore wants a contract extension. So right after he's traded, he's going to want a contract extension. Probably at least $13 million a year. $13 to $15 million a year for 3 years. I don't think the Rams can afford that. So I don't think he'll go to the Rams. That one guy, hey, appreciate you being in here again, man. What does everyone expect a player to honor a contract but never a team? A team can cut a player and save money, and no one makes a big deal. Player wants more money, he's a diva. When he's already getting a fair amount of money. He's getting $15 million a year already in a contract extension that he just signed 2 years ago through 2024. And he's complaining about it. So yes, that does make him a diva in my eyes. That's the thing. What's up, Mike? Appreciate you being here. Randy Hoffman. What's going on? I wouldn't mind adding a proven cornerback just to help against A.J. Brown and Julio pretty much. Randy, I agree. I wouldn't want Xavien Howard because I think he'd be a locker room kind of poison because of what he's doing right now. Gilmore, I wouldn't have an issue with. I think Gilmore would be a great addition to the Colts. I just don't know if the Colts can grab him. And also, Gilmore is one of those guys who, are better at man coverage rather than zone. Still good at zone, but better at man. And the Colts run a lot of zone. JDW, Marvell telling a sixth for Gilmore. Ooh, no. No, because Marvell Tell, we've only seen some play from him in his rookie year. We didn't see him at all last year because he was an opt-out. I want to give Marvell Tell a chance. He's still too young. Does that make sense? Still too young. Our front four needs to rush well. And that makes the corners better, Martin Hazel says. Shortens cover time, increases interceptions. That's true, especially in the zone defense. We all know this. Still looking in here. Angry Homie says, I came over from TV Fins Talk. I met you when you went on one of his live streams. Cool dude. Keep up all the good. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being here. I like I said, I tried to get TD to come on, but it was a last minute thing, and I understand that he didn't want to join. Probably didn't even notice my email to him. Hopefully, him and I get together and do some stuff together again here in the future. Nobody in their right mind would trade Gilmore for telling a sixth, right? Yeah, I don't expect any more trades from Ballard because he already gave up more than he is probably comfortable for being sold on Carson Wentz by Frank. Maybe, maybe not, but the fact, he's giving up, he gave up a third this year and a first and or second next year. If he plays well, if Carson plays well, then it's well worth the trade. Wouldn't the Finns, Loyalist has a good question, wouldn't the Finns have trouble getting value for Xavier if he has to be benched? Well, he wouldn't be benched. Here's the deal. Value for Xavier has to do with, okay, this is awesome. Okay, so the thing about Xavien Howard, my bad. The thing about Xavien Howard is him sitting is his own doing. So yes, I get that. He's not being benched. He's sitting out. So I get that, yeah, teams might be a little bit cautious about that. But some players get paid for doing that. Le'Veon Bell, apparently, when he sat out, had a ton of offers, right? He ended up with the Jets, which in my opinion was the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. But he had a ton of offers. There's no questioning Xavien Howard's ability. He's a top 3 corner in the NFL right now. Top 3. But if they trade him, I don't see a problem. But they'd have to trade him to a team that still has cap and willing to renegotiate that contract to get him more guaranteed money. And there's plenty of teams out there that have cap space that can renegotiate, restructure that contract. Because it's not like I don't think he's wanting an extension, right? He's still got 4 years, so there'll be 3 years left on his contract at the end of this season, beginning of next season. If it comes to that. Say they trade him for a first-round pick. They only take a $2.8 million dead cap hit next year after that trade. The other team then can take that contract that he's got, add a couple years to it, and throw in more signing bonus on the extension. And kind of work that contract more to the team's liking and to Howard's liking. And it'd be a win-win-win for everybody. Right? The Dolphins will get a good draft pick. They would save money by not trading him this year and getting a lot of that money back and letting it roll over to next year's cap and get a draft pick. Howard get what he wants by sitting out. He'll get his contract, the money that he wants, on a team that wants him. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Dolphins probably still want him, but who wouldn't? And the whoever's trading for him obviously wants him, can afford him, and will make their team better. So I don't think that that's a big issue. And all in all. Schmidt says, went on a coffee run. Anything major happened? No. Nothing's happened. Just still talking about the same two guys. Actually, Xavien gets paid $15 million a year. His average was $15 million a year when he signed that contract 2 years ago. $15 million a year. Now, he got some of that already chunked out. But he wants more guaranteed money. That's why he's having issues with his contract. Yes. The Finns, Loyalist says the Finns are in a tough spot. They would be setting a precedence that could be problematic if they restructure the contract later on. That's right. It's like, I think that's another reason why they they moved on from Fitzpatrick as quick as they did, right? He wanted out. They let him out. This is a situation that's a no-win unless they make him sit and then trade him. That's just my opinion. I think you're right. Angry Homie says, the reports is he wants to make $20 million a year plus. He just signed this contract for $15 million a year. Plus, No, man, I'd tell him, sit it out, play your contract. I would say, play more of your contract before wanting more. Because you think about it, this contract is literally only 1 year into the contract because he played on his 5th-year option. And then this contract started last year. So he's literally only played 1 year of this 5-year contract. Right? And he's already wanting more money, more total, more guaranteed. No, that's not cool. That is not cool at all. At all. Any starter could go down at any time. Building depth, I believe, is key. Seems like Ballard is already doing that. Now, there is a thing when it comes to injuries. There's injury clauses in contracts you could drop as well, right? There's plenty of injury clauses. He's got one in his contract where, if he gets injured, he still gets paid. So much money. Not the whole amount, I don't believe. Let me see if I can't find the injury clause. $100% injury guaranteed through 2021. So all of his money is guaranteed this year. Whether he's injured or not. But he don't get paid if he sits. The most I'd pay him is $17 million a year, Angry Homie says. That's it. Rumors are that the Dolphins already gave him a number they will pay him. So we'll see what happens. See, that's the thing. I mean, I would have drawn a hard line in the sand with him at this situation. I would have made him play at least 3 years of that contract before even agreeing to talk. This is a situation that needs to be addressed in a harsh way. You don't sign a contract, play 1 year into it, and then be like, oh, I want more now. That's not cool. Especially when it's a $15 million a year contract. Good Lord. Martin Hazels, do we have any UFDA corners of note? Not particularly, not in my opinion. Dolphins. What's up, homie? Man, you've been really hardcore into this, so I appreciate you being in here giving a lot of Dolphins fan thoughts. Dolphins aren't afraid of trading players. I see him getting traded as soon as a wide receiver find a partner to trade him with. We traded Tunzel and Fitzpatrick. We will trade him. I'm about 95% sure. Yes, but I don't think, like I said, I don't think he'd get traded this year. You get what I'm saying? Because you'll save a ton of money. You'll save 16, or not 16. You'll save about $13 million on your cap by just letting him sit out the year. It'll eat a roster spot. That's a problem. He'll eat one of your 53-man roster. But you'll save you $16 million a year. Or, what did I say, $13 mil. And then you'll only have a $2.8 million dead cap next year when you trade him. If you trade him now, it's a 16-point-some million dollar dead cap. And you're not getting to get into the draft any faster. I like that idea because that'll free up money, so you'll have more cap next year to go out and sign someone if you want. And I'm sorry, I got a hair in my nose that is tickling me, and it's bugging the heck out of me. I don't think that's going to happen, Loyalist. He says that we might start seeing 1-2-year contracts being the norm if these power struggles between players and teams continue. We'll see that last year or this year because of the COVID situation, but I don't think it'll continue on as a norm just because I believe that most players want 4-year contracts, right? Most players want 4 years. Because that allows them to get 3 contracts in their span. And it gives them security of being on a team for 4 years at a time. So generally your 4-year contracts are the norm. Your older players will do those 1-2-year contracts. But guys coming off their rookie deal usually want 4 to 5-year contracts. That's kind of one of the reasons why it was so difficult for Dallas to re-sign Dak Prescott, because he wanted a 4-year. Dallas wanted to sign him for a longer, but he wouldn't want that. After going to 17 games, why didn't the NFL raise to like 56 instead of 53? It's a good question. Or at least open up. Now, I'm wondering about the practice squad thing, right? Did they continue that practice squad thing from last year? Because they opened it, what was it, like 16 players on the practice squad instead of 10? Maybe they could open that up and then have a designation on that practice squad of having like 2 or 3 players where another team can't just reach in and sign them to their 53-man. I think that would be really cool. Especially on these 16 things. Manscaped to the rescue. No. Manscaped is for something completely different area, dude. TMI JDW. Bad visual. Amen. Guys, wow. I didn't realize that I've been doing this for about 45 minutes. Please smash that like button, man. I see 16 likes. Don't forget, if you want to help me out, not just with the likes, but if you want to help out with the stream itself, share the video. If you're a Dolphins fan and you like what I have to say about this, share this to your social media or your Dolphins blogs. Or if you're, same with a Patriots fan. If you're a Patriots fan, share this to your vlogs. Because, you know, whether it be social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatnot, you know, any blogs, anything of that nature. Share it. Help me out, man. Do me a huge favor. You know, that'd be a heck of a solid you'd be doing me. Because it's all about getting exposure. And the more exposure I get, the better. And I would really, really appreciate it. So thank you. Who comes in for Glow next year? Joseph Schmidt asks. And that would be Mark Glowinski, the starting right guard for the Indianapolis Colts. I will go ahead and drop the... He could get extended. I mean, he legitimately could. If he doesn't want too much. You know, I could see him get extended for $6 to $8 million. And he'd probably take it. And I'd be okay with that. And you'd be able to keep Pinter or, you know, whoever sitting there as backups, because depth is important, right? You know, I mean, last year showed we've known how many times it's important to have depth at the O-line. So if he'd be willing to get an extension, I'd be all good with that. Sargo Milano, appreciate you being in here. I could fill in for Glowinski. I played 5th and 6th grade football. Right. Right. Yeah. That'd be like me. You know what? I could fill in for Doyle. I used to play tight end. No. I'd be scared to death to get hit by some of those linebackers and linemen. Even some of the safeties, you know. Good Lord. You say you used to play Sargo football, but until these 300-pound defensive linemen start pushing you around like you were ragdoll. JDW with some jokes. I can fill in for Wentz. I played kicker. Brian brings up a good question here, or good point. If Howard sits early in the season, that's one less player the Colts have to worry about when they play the Miami Dolphins. Ain't that the truth? Yep. That is true. That is true. I got 16 people in here. 18 people. All right. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and tag that notification bell so that you're notified next time I go live. Tomorrow, I will be with Dougly Do Wrong. Thursday, I will be with Buffalo Fanatics. They will be joining my show, both those guys, because we got to talk, right? Especially Buffalo, right? After that playoff game. And then we play them this year, so I want to know what's going on this offseason. It's going to be fun. But, yeah, when it comes to Miami, trust me, I'm going to get Dougly Do Wrong's opinion about the Xavien Howard thing tomorrow night when I get him on here as well. You know, the Bills suck. No, I'm not going to go there. Milano, unrelated, but do you think Brissett has a shot at starting for Miami at some point? Still rooting for him. Actually, there's a good possibility. I think they want, obviously, they put a lot of draft capital into Tua. They're going to want to give Tua every opportunity they can to start. But Brissett is a proven quarterback in the NFL. He's not a guy who is going to make flash plays, but he's a proven safe quarterback that's not going to throw interceptions. So, yes, I think he has a shot, depending upon how well Tua does this offseason. Again, another question I can ask Dougly Do Wrong tomorrow. Angry Homie says, what time? What time you going live tomorrow night? I don't know if I'm going live or if it's going to be recorded. If it's going to be live, it'll be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because Doug's got to wait until he puts his kid to bed, okay? Because he's got a young child, and I have to wait for him to put the child to bed and get the child to sleep before he comes on my show. That's if we go live. You'll know if we go live because I will post. You'll know by 2 o'clock tomorrow if I'm going live, because I will post a a pre-stream, right? Stating that I will be going live on my channel. So you'll want to hit subscribe and hit that all notifications turned on so that you're notified that, hey, he's going to be going live. Be the best way of going about it, man. But if not, then we'll just do a recording and I'll pop it out on Thursday. Okay? Now, Buffalo Fanatics is a live stream. So, letting you know that. JDW says, I like the Bills. I'm just messing around. I think the Bills are a great team. I think Miami's moving in the right direction. I think they're a good team. I think there's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of teams that are just going backwards, right? Like the Texans. I say, Anthony Hurt, I say we have Hines play every position with his acrobatic self just so that we can see the flip cartwheel with a half twist, right? Every time he scores a touchdown, right? Yeah. Don't call him a gadget guy, though. That's right, Martin. He don't like that. JDW says Browns are the second best team in the AFC. I got you with that. I agree. I think they are. I think the Bills are the third. But the only reason I say that is I think the Browns have done a very good job this offseason filling in positions that they needed filled in at their weak spots. And the Bills, I still don't see certain specific weak points where I don't think they really filled their weak points as well. And that's what questions I'll be asking. Appreciate everyone that's been in here, though. 16 viewers still. 19 likes. Guys, looks like it's starting to wind down a little bit, so I appreciate you all. Those were my thoughts on Xavien Howard and Stephon Gilmore. I wanted to make sure that you guys understood. I thought I was going to have some Patriots fans in here. I usually have Patriots fans in here, and it's very odd that I have Miami fans, but not Patriot fans. Homie says, Tua is our main issue, or our defense is pretty stout. Our offense is struggling factor going forward. I mean, you got a decent running game. You got some receivers. You got Mike Gesicki at tight end, who, in my opinion, is underrated outside of Miami. I don't know how you like Mike, but I think he's a very, very good tight end and underrated outside of Finn Nation, I guess. I don't know if that's what you call yourselves or not. But, yeah, very good tight end and young. I feel so guilty being excited to watch Trevor Lawrence. Don't be, because that's going to be a very, very good offense that he's going to be part of. It's just a shame that he's going to have to score 40 points every game in order to win games. Because outside of T.J. Henderson and Miles Jack and Josh Allen, and when I say Josh Allen, I mean the defensive end for the Jacksonville, the rest of that defense sucks. Bad. And Miles Jack even has issues at times. Says, remember Peyton went 3-13, NFL record rookie interceptions. Yep. I know. He was hoping that Joe Burrow was going to break that rookie record last year. Our quarterback is the big question mark. He isn't looking too good. It's OTAs, dude. It's minicamp. Don't worry about minicamp and OTAs and stuff like that. All right? Don't read too much into reports in those. It's preseason games that you want to look into more. I have stressed this so much. Never get too high or too low during OTAs, mini camps, training camps. Don't get too high or too low on reports coming out of there. Because you got to remember, it's players playing against other players that each player knows real well. Okay? So if he's getting picked off a lot, it's probably because the defense already knows the offense because they practice against them every freaking day. You know? Don't worry about it. See how that turns out more in preseason games when they're playing against teams that they don't practice against on a daily basis. Guys, I appreciate all of y'all being here. Please don't forget, hit that like, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell. Check out the link down here. Description of this video. There's a link down there for Super Chat. If you want to help me out, I'd really appreciate it. If you like the content that I'm providing and want to support me financially with a little tip here or there, I'd appreciate it. That would help me out a ton. I got some things I'm trying to save up for. Plus, I pay like $1,000 a year just so I could do these streams from all of my subscriptions and software and stuff that I run. But also, don't forget, I got my merch shop. Don't forget my Patreon. Tag that Patreon, guys. Thanks. Appreciate each and every one of you. McChicken shows up right at the last second. Finally got myself a Patriot fan, but you're too late. You'll have to hit the reset button to where I'm talking about Stephon Gilmore at the very beginning of the show. Okay? I think the first 15 minutes was about Stephon Gilmore, and then I moved on to Xavien Howard. Had actual Dolphins fans in here, so I did a lot of Xavien Howard commentary rather than Stephon Gilmore commentary because there wasn't any Patriots fans in here. It's okay, dude. It's all good. I understand. It's not just you though. I mean, I usually have 4 or 5 Patriots fans in here watching, and then I get a show that's specifically about a Patriots person, and no one shows up. That's got me bewildered. Either way, man. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will be back tomorrow. Keep a lookout because I will be with Dougly Do Wrong tomorrow. And Buffalo Fanatics on Thursday. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. And as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.